so, Mr. Speaker, as the only way I can think of ensuring a vote takes place this week, I am about to table a motion which says the following: that this House has no confidence in the Prime Minister due to her failure to allow the House of Commons to have a meaningful vote straight away on the withdrawal agreement and framework for future relationships between the UK and the European Union. And that will be tabled immediately, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Jeremy Corbyn has tabled a parliamentary vote of no confidence in Theresa May, the Prime Minister, a vote which he describes as a meaningful vote on the future of the United Kingdom. His decision to do this, after considerable pressure from the Scottish National Party in the House of Commons, comes in response to May's postponement of the withdrawal agreement vote to the 14th of January. But terms like meaningful have simply lost all meaning in the real-time action of British politics. Real-time is the important element in all this. We have precious little of it, and it's running out fast. We should be under no illusions. The entire Brexit debacle, from the 2016 referendum with its lies, distortions and manipulations, has left the UK in a crisis unprecedented in the history of the Union State. On the international stage, it has made the UK look childish and petulant, robbing it entirely of its political soft power, the only real power Britain has left following the loss of its empire. The chaotic and often embarrassing antics of the London government and its representatives have left Britain exposed to ridicule. On the European stage, the UK has lost the trust, goodwill and support of its continental friends and allies, a wealth of political and social capital that has taken decades to build. Britain has fundamentally weakened the post-war European settlement, and the global ramifications of this disaster will play out for decades to come. Theresa May has brought the United Kingdom into a period of extreme peril. At the stroke of midnight on the 29th of March, we are faced with the reality of the hardest of all Brexits. Our borders with the European Union will be closed. No trade agreements will exist between us and our closest neighbours. It is estimated, rather optimistically, that the UK will have food and medical supplies for 3 days of normal consumption, a week at the very top. All exports and imports will cease with immediate effect, having a catastrophic impact on business and banking. Foreign investment will vanish. Banking and financial institutions, those that still remain, will relocate. In a globalised and interconnected world economy, the migration of money will be instantaneous. According to the British government's own research, the economy will shrink between 8 and 10% over the following 15 years. Jacob Rees-Mogg, an arch-Brexiteer, probably has it right when he said it could be half a century before we begin to see any meaningful recovery of the British economy after we leave the EU. On the 29th of March, the hammer blow of Brexit will be felt in every part of the economy. Service and manufacturing industries will close, prices and the cost of living will rise, and jobs will be lost. A collapse of 8 to 10% in GDP translates to a recession almost 5 times the magnitude of the effect of the 2007-8 credit crunch on our economy. A hard Brexit means that we are looking down the barrel of a severe economic depression. Shortages. We will be short of all the bare essentials like food and medicine. Taking back control of our borders means, as we have already seen, a growing skills shortage in every part of the economy. Manual and skilled labour, services, manufacturing, technology, education and healthcare. Rampant unemployment, coupled with food shortages and the reintroduction of rationing, will cause widespread civil unrest and rioting. The fabric of our relatively safe and peaceful society will quickly come undone. Aware of this, the government has already consulted with the armed forces and the police with a view to strategising keeping the peace and maintaining order. Whether true or not, a majority of people over the UK suspect that they will see violence and soldiers on the streets in the event of a hard Brexit. The introduction of a hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic will critically undermine the terms of the Good Friday Agreement, and more than likely instigate violence between the Unionist and nationalist factions of the province. Britain is in turmoil. The situation we face is one of extreme peril, and that's even before we begin to exaggerate. By winning a vote of no confidence in her leadership of the Conservative Party, Mrs May has gained for herself immunity from another challenge for 12 months, meaning she will be in number 10 to finalise her party's Brexit project. One option remained, which could put a stop to all of this: a vote of no confidence in the Tory government from the leader of the opposition, Jeremy Corbyn. He had one job to do, and he failed. Yesterday he tabled a meaningless vote of no confidence in the Prime Minister, not in her government, but a vote of no confidence in her fitness to govern the UK. Neither the Tories nor the Democratic Unionist Party and more than a few in Corbyn's own Labour Party want a general election in which they risk seeing Mr Corbyn made Prime Minister. His tabled vote, as we all know, is symbolic, a test to see how likely he is to defeat her bill on the 14th of January. As a leader of the opposition tasked with protecting the good of the country, Jeremy Corbyn is worse than useless. While at times we can have sympathy with his politics and the difficult position in which he finds himself, he is neither fit to lead the opposition nor to lead the country. He is a broken reed, a busted flush. He advocates a people's vote, putting the final deal to the people of the UK, but he is not against leaving the EU. Corbyn, like Boris Johnson and Rees-Mogg over the floor, is a Brexiteer. Yet even with him the penny hasn't yet dropped. The deal reached between the EU Commission and the British Cabinet is the only deal in town. The Northern Ireland backstop and all its provisions are, as they always were, the terms and conditions of membership and departure the UK has signed up to over the past 4 decades. Even in number 10, Jeremy Corbyn can't and won't get better than May was offered. That is the deal. Right now, today, we have 3 options before us. We can take the get out and cancel Article 50 and in so doing end this Brexit nightmare. We can bite the bullet and take the Brexit deal no one appears to want. Or we can take the no deal option, the horror scenario quite appropriately described by the London government as the apocalypse scenario. There are no other options. But time is running out fast. Inaction and Corbyn-style symbolism lead to that no deal. In 100 days, without a deal and without truly meaningful action from the opposition, we default. We take an automatic no-deal exit and all the misery that entails. Today it became obvious Jeremy Corbyn has no interest in either of the 2 other options. He looks to be banking on the present government wrecking the ship, allowing him to swoop in post-apocalypse as a national saviour, or waiting on a miracle from Brussels, the EU accepting a proposal or a set of proposals it has already and repeatedly knocked back from Theresa May. As time continues to run out, we have to be crystal clear. The EU is not going to renegotiate Article 50. That ship has sailed. There is only one real get out. Well, one for the 6 counties in the north of Ireland and one for Scotland. Ireland is moving towards reunification, a process that would unite Ireland and return the 6 counties to the rest of Ireland, allowing it to stay in Europe. But I'm vexed for Scotland. Even without the suicidal tendencies of Scotland's unionists, the SNP is continuing to drag its heels on another independence referendum. Scotland has the option of leaving the UK and remaining in the EU as an independent state. The Scottish Government has a 3-fold mandate to call another referendum, but so far there hasn't been so much as a whisper on the subject from Holyrood or Bute House. Brexit does not mean no change. This is a dangerous and lazy way of thinking we must get out of. Brexit means radical, far-reaching and calamitous change. The vast cost to the state coffers will be mitigated by a plunge into deeper austerity. Ordinary people will, as always, be made to bear the economic brunt of bad economic weather. MPs in Westminster represent, as they always have, the interests of the landed, the moneyed elite and big business. Westminster will never, and can never, according to its present corrupt constitution, represent the interests of ordinary people. Our heads are on the block, and the poorest will suffer the most. We no longer have the luxury of time. We are in the final act of this Brexit tragedy, and we, the people, must do everything in our power to break this engine. If in Scotland that means another independence referendum, then the time for that is now. When Brexit, the apocalypse scenario, becomes a reality, England will become desperate. It will be in the midst of a slide into a perma-recession and staving off revolution. Yes, revolution. Its ability to survive will depend almost entirely on Scotland's valuable oil and gas resources. And my fear tonight is that thoughts of a referendum after Brexit has hit the tarmac will be as futile and symbolic as Jeremy's tabled vote yesterday.